Imagine you build a company to destroy the most bloated, overpriced, hated software in the world. You win. You actually win. You grow into a $300 billion giant. Everyone, from mom and pop shops to Fortune 500 companies, can't function without you. And then one day, you look in the mirror, and you are exactly the thing you destroyed. This is the story of Salesforce, and it is one of the most ironic rises and possible falls in the history of Silicon Valley. To understand Salesforce, you first need to understand what it was fighting. It's the year 2000. If you ran a business and wanted software to track your customers, log your sales calls, remember who owed you what, manage your pipeline, you had one real option: Siebel Systems. And Siebel was brutal. We are not talking about a monthly subscription you cancel with 2 clicks. We are talking about millions of dollars in upfront licensing fees, months, sometimes years of painful installation, armies of consultants charging $300 an hour just to make the thing work. By the time your CRM was actually running, half your sales team had quit, your IT budget was completely destroyed, and you weren't even sure the software was doing what it was supposed to do. Small businesses? Forget it. You simply couldn't afford to play the game. This wasn't a software product. It was a toll booth, and Siebel owned the only road. Enter Mark Benioff. Benioff was a former Oracle executive. He had seen this industry from the inside. He knew exactly how the game was rigged. And in 1999, while most people were still printing MapQuest directions and connecting to the internet through a phone line, he had an idea that sounded almost insane. What if CRM software lived on the internet? What if you just paid $50 per user per month and simply used it? No hardware, no installation, no army of consultants, no million-dollar contracts. Just log in and go. He called it Salesforce, and the tagline was as bold as it was blunt: the end of software. But here is where it gets genius. Benioff didn't just say it, he performed it. His team showed up outside Siebel conferences with fake protesters, carrying signs: "Software is obsolete. End the software tyranny." News cameras showed up. Siebel executives absolutely fumed. And suddenly, everyone in the industry was talking about this scrappy little startup with the audacity to publicly mock the giant. It worked. Smaller companies flocked to Salesforce, then medium ones, then the big ones. And when the dot-com crash wiped out most of the internet darlings of that era, Salesforce survived. When Oracle swooped in and bought Siebel in 2005, Benioff didn't mourn. He celebrated. The war was over, and he had won. But here is the thing about winning wars. Sometimes, you don't know what to do with the peace. By the early 2000s, Salesforce had a problem that sounds like a great problem to have. Their core product was so dominant, growth was starting to slow. You can only sell CRM to so many companies before the well starts to run dry. So Benioff made a decision. He was not going to just be a CRM company anymore. He was going to buy his way to being everything. The acquisitions started rolling in. MuleSoft, a data integration platform, $6.5 billion. Tableau, data visualization, $15.7 billion. And then the one that made Wall Street's jaw literally drop, Slack, $27.7 billion, the largest acquisition in Salesforce history. The pitch was elegant. Instead of selling you one product, Salesforce would sell you a complete ecosystem. They called it Customer 360. Every tool your business needs, all connected, all under one roof. Sales, marketing, data, communication, analytics. The goal? Go toe-to-toe with Microsoft. But there is always a cost to building an empire through acquisition. And Salesforce was about to find out exactly what that cost was. Late 2022, co-CEO Brett Taylor suddenly resigns. No public scandal, no dramatic falling out, at least not that anyone admitted to. But to anyone paying attention, it was a signal. Something wasn't right inside the Death Star. The activist investors smelled blood. Elliott Management took a multi-billion-dollar stake. Starboard Value followed. These are not the kinds of investors who show up because they like your product. They show up because they think you are wasting money, and they want it back.
The charges against Salesforce were damning.
Tens of billions spent on acquisitions that were dragging down margins. Slack, the crown jewel, was not integrating the way anyone had hoped. The company had grown so fast, with so many products crammed together, that it had become expensive, complex, bloated. Salesforce had become Siebel. To appease investors, Benioff did what corporate America always does when the music stops. He cut 8,000 jobs, nearly 10% of the entire workforce. The company that once protested against software giants, staging fake demonstrations outside their conferences, was now laying off thousands of its own people to satisfy hedge funds. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. And just when Salesforce was trying to find its footing again, the ground shifted. In early 2026, investors across the software industry started asking a question that nobody had a comfortable answer to. If AI can do the work of a salesperson, a customer support agent, a marketing analyst, why would you need a Salesforce seat for that human? Stock prices dropped. The threat wasn't theoretical anymore. It was arriving in real time. Salesforce's response? Double down on AI. They launched Agentforce, a suite of AI tools designed to automate the exact customer relationship tasks their human users used to handle manually. They acquired Informatica for $8 billion to fuel their data strategy. And here is where the story reaches peak irony. The company that was built to improve human customer relationships is now replacing human customer support roles with AI. The disruptor disrupted. So where does Salesforce go from here? Does Agentforce become the next big bet that actually pays off? Or is this the beginning of the end for a company that slowly forgot what made it dangerous in the first place? That is the question worth watching. Because if history has taught us anything about Salesforce, underestimating them is always a mistake.